my name is Ryan Cam, and welcome back to the 1999 Project, where I will try and ultimately fail to review every movie that came out in the year 1999. This is going to be another single movie talking about this week because I was going to have two, but I could not find this movie anywhere. So I can't review what I can't see, so here I am. I do have one movie though, and then next week we're going to be talking about a pretty big movie, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So stay tuned for next week. But for this week, let us cover A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Fools these mortals be. William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream.
A Midsummer Night's Dream was directed by Michael Hoffman, the man behind movies, mostly romantic movies, like The Best of Me and One Fine Day, starring George Clooney. I'll just read off a few off of my phone just so I can give you the scope. Rupert Everett, Kevin Kline, Michelle Pfeiffer, Stanley Tucci, and Christian Bale. Oh, and David Strathairn's in there as well. Just by those names alone, this movie is like an automatic good, at like a baseline. This is an adaptation of the classic play from William Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and the plot is honestly pretty complicated, so I'll just read it off of Letterboxd. The lovely Hermia is to wed Demetrius, but she truly cares for Lysander. Hermia's friend Helena is in love with Demetrius, while other romantic entanglements abound in the woods, with married fairy rulers Titiana and Oberon toying with various lovers and each other. I need to sit down. Wait, I am sitting down. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not big into William Shakespeare related stuff. I don't hate the guy or any of his work by any means. I have a lot of respect for all of the works that he did, like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet, among many others. Those are his big ones, but you got his histories like Mark Antony or Anthony and Cleopatra, excuse me, and among others. So he is celebrated for a reason. I had no idea what I was walking into with A Midsummer Night's Dream, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure what happens in this movie. To make the long story short, it's a bunch of very attractive people getting into romantic entanglements with each other. And if that is your thing, then you will like this movie. I was really confused throughout a good chunk of it. Even me just reading the plot off of Letterboxd, I confused myself. So for a Shakespeare scholar, I'm sure you know the ins and outs of this, but for me, a layman, I had no idea what was going on. But what I did know was that the movie looked absolutely gorgeous. And in terms of acting, everyone was giving their all. I mean, with names like Christian Bale, David Strathairn, and Stanley Tucci, with those three alone, you can't go wrong. And like I said, for those names alone and the rest of the cast, and the acting is very strong, I am going to give this a good rating. But I think for the Shakespeare purists, I think this will be more your speed, but it just was not for my speed. Very well made, but I will probably never see this again. But what did you all think of A Midsummer Night's Dream? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say. And next week, well, it's going to be a bit of a deep dive into Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which is 25 years old this year, which is just startling. But we'll cross that bridge next week. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.